Hello. Any issue with exercise 3B?
Miss,
Yes.
for questions where they ask for range, should we always put include or equals to?
Depend on the question. If the question say increasing or decreasing, then you can put equal to. If the question say like that, if you look at one of the exercise that I give in the times, like for example, they say find, for example, they say, okay, find the range of x when, okay, fx is greater than 0. This one you cannot put. This one you cannot put. Or they can say f prime x is greater than 0. Then here you cannot put equal. But if they state like that, f prime x is greater than or equal to 0, then you will put equal. So you have to read the question. If they say increasing or decreasing, you can put equal. But if you state like that, then your x, you shouldn't have equal. You get me?
Yes.
And here, you should have equal. So it's all very much depend. But if they say increasing, decreasing, then you can put equal sign. Because from that point onward, it start to decrease. From that point onward, it start to increase. That can be done. Are you okay?
Yep.
So you have to read the question. So there is no such thing as it's definite. Okay, exercise 3B, is there any problem? Okay, have anyone tried question 8 on page 67?
Yeah, can you explain that, please?
Okay, next time I will not pick. Okay, so I will explain this. Okay, first of all, can someone describe to me if I want to know a given function is increasing or decreasing? So what function must I have if I want to talk about this? If I want to talk about this function is decreasing, so what function must I have to support this? Can I base on fx function to talk about fx is increasing or decreasing? Hello, can you please answer me?
No.
No. So what function must I have if I want to describe fx is increasing or decreasing?
F prime x.
Yes. So your first job is to get f prime x. So can you get the f prime x out first before I continue to explain? Everyone do your work, please. Okay, did you get the function? You are using quotient rule, am I right? Okay, so I will write f prime x bottom derivative of the top is 1, take away bottom derivative of the bottom is 2x. Yeah, thank you. Divide by bottom square. So I simplify the top, x squared plus k minus 2x squared minus 2kx divided by x squared plus k, the whole thing squared. Simplify, I got negative x squared minus 2kx plus k divided by, okay, you got this expression. So when we want to say decreasing for all value of x, so what does that mean? Decreasing means for all value of x, f prime x must be more than 0 or less than 0. Can you please tell me?
Less than 0.
Okay, less than 0. Okay, look, we have this as a fraction. Our f prime x is a fraction. A number divided by another number, correct? You look at the bottom here. It's a square, correct? So from here, can I say b is definitely greater than 0? Can I say like that?
Yes.
For all value of x, b definitely greater than 0. So for f prime x to be less than 0, conclusion, negative x squared minus 2kx plus k must be less than 0. Agree?
Yeah.
A negative divide by a positive, give me a negative. Am I right?
Yes.
So, good. So this function, can I call it as gx? Can I? So I name my gx as negative x squared minus 2kx plus k. So can you please tell me gx is what type of function? What type of function is this? Gx is a quadratic. Yes, if it's a quadratic, can you please tell me the shape of gx? Is it a smiling or a crying curve? Crying. All right. Why? Because here is negative. So still remember I taught you at the beginning, I said quadratic function is very important. So this graph, where is the position of this graph? It must be below the x-axis in order to have a negative value, correct? because our aim is to be less than 0. So is there an x-intercept here? So imply this is this, imply this, because of this, so there isn't x-intercept. So if no x-intercept, so what should the determinant be? What should the determinant be? Hello, do you still remember the determinant? So b squared minus 4ac, which is negative 2k squared minus 4ac must be what? No real root. Must be so must be less than 0. So I have 4k squared plus 4k must be less than 0. So in order to solve this, you have to use the number line for this, sign diagram for this, for k. Yep. So you have 0 and negative 1. So it's a plus, a minus, and a plus. So you select here. So therefore, in conclusion, your k. So this question is a very difficult question. Can it come out in your final? Yes. Can you come out in your test? Definitely yes. So the k must be between negative 1 and 0. You get me? So what does the textbook give you? What does the textbook give you the answer? Did you check?
Same, but they put equals to also.
Yeah, they put equal to. So if you put equal to, also nothing wrong. You put equal to, also nothing wrong. Because he said always decreasing. So it can that one have one x-intercept also can. Okay, so you see why we need to learn this, because this will help us to solve problem like that. So you see, for this question, if I come out in the exam, do you know how many marks I give for this question? Can someone give a wild guess? How many marks we will give for this question? The most is 4. So I show you where I give the 4 marks. So you differentiate correctly, we give 2 marks. Correct? Hello? Then what you can do is, if you, all this, whatever I explain here, all these things, you don't have to explain. You straight away get to here, 1 mark, answer 1 mark. So all this hard work is something that you have learned in year 11. So we expect you, one glance, you will know how to analyze that. You see or not? So the moment you see a quadratic function, you have to recall this. You see? So the determinant is very important. So if I solve any calculus question, I definitely will put a note. If along any place, when I deal with any quadratic function, either in the derivative function or whatsoever, I want to solve that problem, I must remember I have to use b squared minus 4ac. So this is a very important skill. Clear? All the rest you don't have to tell me is fine. You can straight away jump to this step, then straight away give me the answer. The rest is in your mind. It's fine. That is called when you present your answer. All this part, I bracket up, all this is, I teach you how to think. You don't have to tell the examiner. Got it? Okay. So any more question on exercise 3B? No? Okay. Did y'all do your work or not? Can I have a response and ask, did y'all do your work?
Yes, but I didn't finish all the way until the 9th question.
Yeah, I know. So 3B. Someone asked me question 3, is it? 3B question 2. Is it someone you through the chat? Is it answer my question or you ask me question 3? Okay, there are someone who request 3B question 2. Okay, huh? So 3B question 2. Okay, may I know what is the issue of that question? Okay. So they ask you to explain the mistake for Canon, correct? Okay. What is the mistake that Canon had made? Can someone tell me? I told you already, when you say about ln, what is the first thing that you have to take notes of? Yes?
X cannot be 0.
Is it true?
Everything in the ln must be more than 0.
Yes, everything in the ln must be more than 0. So I straight away will write down the domain. So if you don't want to make mistake like Canon, you have to remember this. Every time when you see a ln function, for example, I give you a ln function like that. So you straight away have to put this. Correct? Then you write down the domain. So you see habit. The only way to do well in the exam is to memorize. So if you put this, will you make the same mistake as Kenneth? No. So you know your f prime x is equal to 1 over x. So your sign diagram start from 0 onward. Correct? F prime x equal to 0 is impossible. Will not happen. So there's no x-intercept. So we put a plus. So that proves that, so this proves that fx is always increasing. Never decreasing. See or not? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, can you please tell me for this function, fx is always increasing or decreasing? Okay, okay, you tell me fx is always increasing or decreasing? You got the domain already?
For which function? Ln 1
For
minus
this
x.
one, for the one at the right.
Okay.
So your f prime x, how is your f prime x like?
1 negative 1 over 1 over x. 1 minus x, sorry.
Yeah. So for x less than 1, 1 minus x will be greater than 0, correct?
Yes.
So therefore, f prime x, which is equal to negative 1 over positive, will be less than 0, correct? So therefore, fx is always decreasing. For, if you want to say for x less than 1. Yeah,
Yes.
can or not? So it depends on the function given. So in this case, if I want to draw the sign diagram also can. If I want, they ask you to prove that it's always decreasing, then I will prove it in this way. Okay, any other question? 3B, if not, I will. Yeah, no more. Huh? You don't ask, I won't know which one I need to explain to you, okay? Any more? No more, huh? Okay, I have a question for you. Can you please go to question 7 and do part E? May I know what is the domain for this case? May I know what is the domain for this function? Miss Do tell you that whenever you see ln, so can X take a negative value for this case?
Yes, it's all
Yes.
possible values of X.
Yeah, because of the square here. See or not? So that means the domain for this case will be X. X is a member of real number. That's it. That means any value of X can work. Okay. So now can you please get your f prime X and work on it? So the f prime X will be, yeah, thank you, 2x, x squared plus 4. So if we want to draw the sign diagram, first of all, we have to put our f prime X equal to 0. Am I right? So cross multiply, which means 2x equal to 0. So x equal to 0. So our sign diagram will be so for x less than 0, this will be negative, divide by positive, so will be negative, and here is positive. So then you get your answer. So have you tried to sketch the graph for this one? Have you tried to sketch the graph for this one? Can you please take out your graphic calculator and sketch the graph and have a look at it? So always try opportunity to use your graphic calculator. Huh? So I think the first part have to go down, then there is a turning point, then go up. Will the shape look like this? I don't think so. You try, I don't think so the shape will look like that. You just make a zoom standard and have a look at it. You do a zoom standard and have a look at the shape of the graph. Okay. So there is 2 inflection point. Agree with me? So next time when you see a graph like that, so you see, I can change this into a question whereby talking about curve property. Okay. So the graph, did y'all get the graph? Okay, I also got that. Okay, the graph look like that. You do a zoom standard. So if you want to look at the upper part clearer, you go to the window, you put your Y minimum as 0. Then you go to graph. Then you can see clearly. The shape of the graph look like that. Convex, concave. Then there is an inflection point, then concave, convex, then turn concave again. So is there an upper, There's no upper limit. It will go on and on like that. Yep. So do you think you can find the inflection point? Do you think you can sketch the graph for f prime x based
Yes.
on this? You try to sketch the graph of f prime x without the graphic calculator. So the graph of f prime x definitely will pass through here. So this one is decreasing, so it's negative. So you will go like that. I think so. This is your y equal to f prime x. Am I right? You can try.
Yes.
With your y1, yeah. Then you go and put graph and you see how it goes. You have to do a zoom fit. You have to do a zoom fit in order to get the shape of the graph. You try to do a zoom fit. Yep. When you have your y1 and your y2, okay, together. Huh? The stationary point should be here. Here. My graph is not very nicely drawn. There's a turning point at these 2 points. There are 2 turning points. The turning point is very near the 0. You see? So in the exam, so I'm just telling you, any graph you have the opportunity, please learn. Okay? So let me show you exactly. So you look at here. This is the steepness become bigger and bigger, more and steeper, but it's negative. So that's why from 0 become more and more negative. Then come here, that is the lowest you will go. Then after that, it will become, it's still negative, but it becomes less and less until here, the steepness is 0. Then this is increasing at the fastest rate. So it go like that, maximum, then after that, but it never goes 0. It never goes 0. You see, that is your f prime x graph. So in the exam, can I give you the fx graph like that? I can. I tell you where is the inflection point, where is the stationary point. Then you have to sketch the f prime x graph. I can even ask you to sketch the f double prime x graph. Yep. Okay. Any more issue on that? So any function given here is an opportunity for you to learn about curve property. Do you know how to find the coordinate of this point? Using your GC? Hello? So that is the question. Yeah, you should know, correct? You can find the, can anyone tell me the value here? And this value, the x value. Can anyone tell me x1 and x2 value, please? Can anyone tell me the x1 and x2 value, please? You are very slow. I thought I'm not good at calculator. You are worse than me.
x2 is -2.
X2 is -2. Okay. Confirm, friends?
Yep.
Yes, -2, you are right. So I think X1 will be 2, is it? Yeah, you are
Yes.
right. So it's symmetrical. So it's symmetrical along x equal to y x equal to y equal to 0. X equal to 0, sorry. So usually if you see function with the square, correct, you will have a symmetrical. Okay? So you see, you want to be good in the maths. Textbook is the best. You modify, you study about it, you cover everything you need to know. Okay? So I will take every function, I will practice, I will sketch the graph and look at how is the nature. Other than, so if you want to be successful, you don't just do what the question asks you to do. You go a step further. Okay? So any more question in exercise 3B that you like me to explain? No, okay. Can we go to exercise 3C? You omit all the trigo, I know which question to pick to ask. Anyone have any problem, or you have bought a solution book? The solution book tells you what to do. I tell you, do maths, never ever look at the solution book. Until and unless you try hard. Question 4. Okay. Question 4A. Okay. Question 4A. Okay, if you look at question 4A, I would like to link it to you, the function that we learned this afternoon. We have learned, we just learned it. Still remember this function? Yep. Is it the same?
Yes.
Yes. So here, the A is 1, the B is 1. So you know the curve for this one definitely is like that. So there is only one stationary point, correct? And what is the value of the x coordinate of the stationary point? 1 over b, correct? So it's 1 over 1, which is 1. So you see, if you have that, so it's this form. Okay, so how am I going to get the stationary point by calculus? I'm going to show you by calculus, okay? So by calculus, when you talk about stationary point, of y equal to fx, what is the meaning of this? I mean, at this point, the rate of change of y equal to fx is 0. So how should we start? We should start from here. We should get the rate of change function first. So you get the rate of change function. So that means you have to find dy dx. Can you please do it? Then we put dy dx equal to 0. Is that okay? So anything to do with stationary point, it means like that. So when I say nature, this is local maximum. That is called the nature. Can or not? Are you okay?
Yes.
Do I need to differentiate for you to see? Anyone need me to differentiate for you to see? No need, ah? Okay, so no need, I'm not going to do that. We have done that in the morning, in the afternoon, just now, 2 o'clock, right? Okay. I'm waiting. I know which question to ask. I don't want to ask first. No more? There are a few specific questions that I want to discuss. Anyone have tried question 6?
Yeah, 6B cannot.
6B cannot. Okay, good. Just tell me what you cannot, okay? Don't wait for Miss Do to tell you, okay? Okay, question 6. Okay, huh? So I have the function fx equal to x ln x. Okay? So part A. For what value of x is fx defined? So this means the domain. So we know that so this one definitely no problem, correct? Everyone? Okay, we have done that just now. Okay, so now show that the minimum value of fx. So we want to know, so when you see minimum or maximum, okay, when you see this word, you will look for stationary point. Okay, so to look for stationary point, you must look for f prime x. Am I right? So how you start to do this question? So how we start? We always start from here. So this is how the question lead you to decide how to start. So you get your f prime x first. So you may not be able to see the answer, but you know how to start, just start it. Okay, so ln x times 1 plus x times 1 over x. Am I right? Did Miss Do differentiate it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so I have ln x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, everyone understand why I put it equal to 0? Stationary. Okay, so I look for the x. So my x equal to e to the power negative 1. Okay, so which means 1 over e. So you don't have to worry first. So now we look at here. So this is our f prime x. Am I right? So wait, hold on. This have to be dotted. So this is the x that make f prime x equal to 0. That means f prime e to the power -1 is equal to 0. So that means my fx, okay, so now if we come back to here, come back to our f prime x function. If x is less than 1 over e, my fx is positive or negative? My f prime x? Hello? You have your calculator? Can you please quickly key this into your calculator? And this is in your y2. 1 over e approximate, what is the value? You have to be very proactive, please, young people. This is approximately 0.368. Yeah, so you key in your y2, you put in 0.1. You got positive or negative?
Negative.
Hello? Yes?
Negative.
Negative. So here should be positive. So correct, so this is the minimum point. Correct? So now, but we can only say local minimum. So the y will be equal to x ln x. So I put in the x value. X is 1 over e ln e to the power -1. Yeah, so this is -1 over e. So this point 1 over e, -1 over e is the local minimum. Okay, so how am I going to prove that this is also a global minimum? So this question you have to prove. One over e, -1 over e is also global minimum. Okay, so I want to do the proving here. So how am I going to prove? So you have 2 tasks to do. First, you look. The graph, I think if you plot the graph will go like that. Then after that go up like that, is it? Am I right? No. Am I right? Anyone try to plot the graph x ln x? Can you try to plot the graph x ln x? Don't plot the dy dx. Go to window, put your x as 0.1 maybe. Then do a zoom fit and have a look at it. Oh no, I'm wrong.
It increases.
I'm wrong. My graph is wrong. It go in this way. Yeah. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. So now you look, you have to discuss about this end. You also have to discuss about this end. So we have 1 and 2 to discuss. So how we do? So for number 1, how we put it? As x approaches approaches what? Infinity. Okay. So what happened to your ln x? Is also approaches infinity, correct? So what happened to your fx, which is x ln x? It definitely will approach infinity also, correct? So that means it shows that it never go down anymore. Got it? So the next one is as x approaches. We know that the domain is here. As x approaches 0. But it's not 0. And how it approaches 0? From the right. So what happened to ln x? Can you please just get into your calculator? You put ln, very small number, 0.001. What do you get?
Negative.
Negative. Negative infinity, correct? So can we just put negative infinity? Right? If you put 0.00001, it will be very, very negative, correct? But your fx is made up of x times ln x, correct? Very negative times by 0, what do you get?
0.
0. Yeah, this one we say from below. So that means you know that it will never go down. It will never go down this point. So from here, I can prove that this is the lowest value of y. It will never go lower than that. You get me? So you must prove it using these two. You cannot draw graph and show. So therefore, in conclusion, the minimum value of fx is, when I say fx means I'm referring to the y. Negative 1 over e, okay?
Yes.
So same thing go with question 10 and 11. Listen, question 10 and 11, you are using the same method. Question 10, the function will be this one. They didn't give you the function, but you know the function is this one. Then you work the same thing. 10 and 11, please try. Can you say, okay, usually in our SAT, we try not to be too tough on you, but I cannot guarantee you in final, you won't face things like that. Okay? Are you okay? So in order to prove that, you always have to observe how the graph look like, then you go. You have two parts. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, so please continue to work hard. There are many more to do. Yeah. A lot, the whole thick chapter. Luckily, I didn't schedule the exam on the 12th. Because some of you all need to go back for practical. So you have more time to practice on that. Okay? Thank you, class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Do.
Mm,
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.